Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. We're here at the Peacock's Boxing Gym. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Ellis Zorro. Ellis, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Oh, yeah, good, thank you. Just finished up 10 rounds of sparring, so yeah, feeling good.
Okay, right. Sorry about that. Ellis, it's been a very long time since you last fought. He's last out last year in March, scheduled to return in less than 2 weeks. Firstly, how is training camp going, and how excited are you to be getting back into the ring?
I'm over the moon to be back in the ring, to be honest. I was meant to fight on the Sonny Edwards undercard over a month ago, and that was cancelled. So I've kind of been in camp since then. I've been in the Peacock Gym since February this year, and it's pretty much been flat out. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm finally getting a date and getting out.
As I mentioned, obviously you're back in the ring in less than 2 weeks. You know, how difficult has it been for you? Because last fight was in last year of March. You were scheduled to fight on the Sonny Edwards undercard, that got cancelled. You know, have you managed to keep positive, stay focused, especially being out of the ring for literally 20 months?
It's been tough, to be honest, but just focusing on training, and obviously there's areas of my game that I am yet to improve, so just focusing on training, not worrying about when I'm going to be out or who I'm going to be fighting, but just focusing on preparing myself and getting as good as I can be, so when the date finally does come, I'm the best prepared I can be. But it has been tough, yeah.
The cruiserweight domestic scene is exciting as always. You know, it's becoming a very, very good division. You know, a lot of people have got the eye on this division, but this is your first fight back in the ring for literally over 20 months. You know, has there been any news of a potential opponent, and is it a case of getting in there, shaking off some ring rust and getting some rounds under your belt, or are you going to look to go in there and make a big statement?
Well, I was actually made mandatory to fight for the Southern Area title against Ian Martel, then he vacated, and I was meant to fight for that on the Sonny Edwards undercard. There's been so many names thrown at me from Nick Parker, Daniel Mendez, but for one reason or another, those fights haven't happened. Sorry, what was the last bit of the question?
Are you looking to go in there and make a big statement?
Yeah, the ring rusting. Yeah, so I don't really feel like I've been sparring since I got here against good guys. I got 10 rounds in today with Dan Aziz, so really good rounds. I don't really believe in ring rust too much. Like, my weight's good. I've been training. I'm fit. I'm sharp. It'll be good to be under the lights, but yeah, I'm obviously every fight I'm looking to make a statement, regardless of what I'm fighting for or who I'm fighting against.
The division's got very exciting, especially over the last couple of weeks. You had Richard Riakporhe, Michael Lowell return after a layoff out of the ring. Jordan Thompson as well returned last Saturday night, putting a good performance. You mentioned the Ian Martel fight, which is meant to happen on the Sonny Edwards undercard. Can get a win in a couple of weeks. Are you hoping that fight can get rescheduled at some point, perhaps towards the end of the year, maybe early 2022?
Yeah, to be honest, apart from Lawrence Okolie, who's obviously at world level, domestically, from Richard, Isaac, Chris Billam, Jack Massey, a lot of us are kind of on the same kind of level. It's not like I've only had 9 fights. I think the highest in division haven't had that many more fights than myself. So if Ian Martel was up for fighting, he's available, then yeah, we'll make that fight happen. But to be honest, I'm not necessarily calling anybody out. Like, any of the names that I've mentioned, any of the names that you've mentioned, I'll be happy to compete against.
What is it that you've got your sights set on? Obviously, you know, as we mentioned, you just said Lawrence Okolie's at British level. You know, Richard Riakporhe, you got Billam Smith as well. You got Jack Massey fighting for a world title as well soon. But there's good fighters such as yourself, Michael Lowell, Ian Martel, all sort of at the same level right now. What is it that you want to see yourself do for 2022?
I just kind of want to cement myself. I want my names to be in these interviews, in these talks. I want my name to be considered. Obviously, I've got to prove myself in the ring. So I'd like to, you know, go the domestic way, fight for the Southern area, don't defend it, just get rid of it, fight for the English, go on to the British. So yeah, by the end of 2022, I'd like to be, you know, focusing around the British level, 100%.
We mentioned Lawrence Okolie. There's a lot of talks about a potential unification fight with him and Marius Bradis. We saw Marius Bradis' promoter, Kalle Sauerland, saying that the fight should happen now. He wants the fight to happen out in Latvia. How do you see that fight panning out?
A lot of these guys are obviously more experienced than Lawrence, but I just think with the tools that he's got, and in his last few fights he's been using his tools quite well, it's going to be hard to beat him. You know, even though on paper they might be favourites, it's still going to be hard to beat him. That range and that power, 10-ounce gloves, it's not a joke to deal with. So I don't really see anybody beating Lawrence right now, if I'm being honest, and I think he'll probably push on to heavyweight from what I've heard. But it'll definitely be a challenging fight. It's not going to be a walkover. He's going to have to come ready.
Obviously, before I let you go, I just want to get your thoughts on a former cruiserweight who is now a heavyweight king in Alexander Usyk, winning the world titles off of Anthony Joshua. How can you see the rematch panning out? We understand that the rematch is going to happen at some point mid-stages of 2022. Will it be repeat or will it be revenge? And what has Anthony Joshua got to do to become a three-time world champion?
I'm going with repeat because I think, as much as everyone's saying AJ could have done this, he could have done that, Usyk is obviously far superior as a boxer, and that was only his third fight at heavyweight. So he's going to gain, and he's just beat the world champion. So he's going to grow in confidence. He may even get bigger, fit into the weight even more. So I can only see Usyk getting better. There's obviously a lot that AJ can do to perform better, put more pressure on Usyk and take the fight to him. But I'm just not sure he can do that. Like, Usyk is not just going to be there for him to hit, so as much as everyone's saying, if AJ brings the pressure, he'll get rid of him, I still don't feel like he's going to catch up with Usyk. I don't know if he's got the engine to do that for long enough to catch up to Usyk. So I'm going with repeat, probably by points.
It's going to be a very, very interesting rematch, and of course, not only will we look forward to that, we'll look forward to your return to the ring. Ellis, thank you very much for your time. Hope all goes well in a few weeks, and we look forward to catching up with you during fight week.
Thanks for the interview. Take care. Thank you.